Start here. Former Social Development Minister Bathabile Dlamini, as you know, has been found guilty of perjury. A court ruled that Dlamini lied under oath during a constitutional court inquiry into the 2017 social grant crisis. She could be fined or face jail time. Dlamini will learn her fate on the 1st of next month. For more on this case, I'm joined by Amanda Rinquest. She's the education manager at the Black Sash. Amanda, thank you very much for joining us. I know that you were an integral part as Black Sash of the people who wanted the former minister to be held to account. So I imagine that you welcomed the decision by the Magistrates Court this week.
Yes, thank you so much, Masego, for having me on the show. And yes, the Black Sash is very, very glad that this matter is reaching a finality and that there is a level of accountability with regards to the minister's behavior.
Tell me about the importance of this case, especially, if we look at the fact that it's to hold ministers to account, but also hold people in public office accountable for lying under oath, even in the highest court of the land.
And that's exactly why this matter is so important. In our statement, we say that perjury is not a victimless crime. And the minister's actions, while some may say is incomparable to other state capture moments, demonstrates that that accountability is important. And so why we welcome this case is because the minister's untruths, the minister's evasive answering of questions, the minister's hiding and her dishonesty left 18 million South Africans unsure and in a precarious nature as we approached 1 April 2017, when the CPS contract was meant to fall away. The minister left people unsure about where they could collect their grants, if they could collect their grants, whether the grant payment system would happen. And so we welcome this level of accountability because public service servants and ministers, they volunteer themselves. They put up their hand to lead. And so then that is what they must do. They must lead. And so we are glad that there is a level of accountability when public officials disregard the Constitution and the rule of law.
Now, she still holds quite a powerful position within the African National Congress. She's the president of the Women's League, which can still, do a couple of things within the ruling party. It can still persuade some decisions within the ruling party, etc. So are you concerned that maybe the political party actually harbors incompetence, perhaps?
Well, the Black Sash does not want to comment on inter-party politics within the ANC. We continue to call for a complete separation of the party and government. And we know that when there is a mix of the two, it is South Africans who suffer. So we just want to say to the government that it must continue to hold itself accountable to the Constitution and the rule of law and not its own party politics.
Well, we're going to find out in a few days' time what her fate will be. Do you have anything that you would like the court to decide on as Black Sash? Should she just be fined, for what happened in 2017, 2018?
I think that the most important thing, or the Black Sash thinks the most important thing to remember is that the minister is not the victim here. And so when the magistrate decides on whatever her punishment is, I think, the magistrate is bound by certain factors such as the age of the person, their victims, the nature of their crime. And so we just ask for the rule of law to continue to be upheld and for those processes to continue. So we have no preference. We just want the rule of law and the guiding principles of our Constitution to prevail.
So during the time of the trial, what did you make of the former minister's ask for the court to drop the charges against her? She seemed to be very adamant that there's a witch hunt against her and that there is no evidence. There was a time, of course, when the journalists themselves, I covered the story as well, where I was questioning the state a little bit because so many times we had to postpone because of witnesses not being readily available, etc. What did you make of that period during the actual trial?
Well, I think that it demonstrates a very imperfect system. The report was sent to the NPA, I think, in 2018. The report of that came from the inquiry was sent to the NPA in 2018 already. So they've had over 3 years to prepare themselves. And I think this again speaks to what the Black Sash is always asking for, which is a capable state, a capable Department of Social Development, a capable Treasury, capable NPA, a capable court that is responsive to the needs of people. And so that's going to be our continued call. And we are, a bit concerned that it's taken this many years since the court found her a dishonest and evasive witness. And so that remains a concern, and we will continue to push for a responsive and capable state. And we do not agree with her call to have the charges dropped. There is ample evidence of her being dishonest. Just this morning, the Black Sash shared her 2018 inquiry, and it's available on the internet for those to watch. That she's never taken accountability and taken responsibility for her part in the SASSA payment system crisis.
Definitely, and I remember her telling the court that she didn't know that such a huge crisis was looming when, in fact, there was a letter in her inbox making her aware of that. But thank you very much for your time here on Newslink, Amanda Rinquest. She is, of course, from the Black Sash. They played a huge role in taking the former minister to court, especially after they thought that she definitely lied under oath in the Constitutional Court. And this week, the Magistrates Court in Johannesburg finding that to be true. Let's move to